Welcome back to Online Darts, everyone. We're here at Stevenage for the Stevenage Showdown. We've got Jared Cole. Jared, nice lights on this, playing Johnny Gezzy in that practice room. Must love it.
I'm loving life. I mean, it's a room full of your idols, so for me it's fantastic. Obviously it's a learning experience, even just being in a room with them. Like, just seeing how they act, how they are naturally in their own comfort zone as such. It's like, yeah, and obviously when you're on the board with them as well, it's fantastic. So, yeah, you get to see how they prepare for a proper event, so...
Where is the Jared Cole game right now?
In general, really good. Yeah, I'm quite happy with where my game's at. Yeah, I'm looking into sort of finalising some stuff with Target at the moment, which I'm hoping will come through very soon. Yeah, really happy, really happy. So, yeah, I'm hoping that will portray through for the foreseeable future. Is
that just tweaks on equipment and things like that, just to make things comfortable?
Yeah, it's sort of staying with the same equipment and more making it my own brand as such. So obviously for me that's fantastic, and I'm hoping that will come through onto the performance today. But obviously for me, it's, yeah, I'm here for experience and enjoying actual life almost underneath the spotlight, but sort of in the background of it as well. So I'm happy.
You touched on that spotlight. Obviously when you get that Target Elite 1 call, your name gets blown up all over the place, and it's a great system for bringing through youngsters. But do you find at times maybe that adds pressure to the youngsters?
I think it's how people react to it, because obviously for me personally it's been great, obviously being part of the system and growing up in myself with the system. Obviously it's been fantastic, but it's down to the player and how they react to that situation, because obviously some people react very differently to scenarios, I guess. So for me personally, fantastic. But if you're somebody who's on the spotlight and all of a sudden the spotlight won't leave you alone, it's a bit like, maybe you learn, obviously, like sort of the whole idea is experience, and you're trying to learn as a player, as a sort of, in any sense, what it can be for you, and obviously what the future will hold for you as a professional player. So you're trying to learn what it will be like to be on that professional tour before you're on it, so that it doesn't come as a sort of like a massive change when it does come for you. So you're hoping it will come, but you never know what's going to happen when you come on that tour and when you're put under that spotlight. So for you on a personal level, it's try and be the best version of yourself you can be, but obviously prepare for the unexpected. So it's as much preparation as you can get for the unexpected.
On that professional tour, recently got a taste of what the Pro Tour is all about, and first of all, what was the experience like? So
for me, well, it's been 4 or 5 years since I was on the Pro Tour. I got a little taste of it when I was very young and sort of very new to the professional sort of scene. And obviously for me now, I'm trying to make my name, trying to sort of put myself on the mark as such. But yeah, it was fantastic to be back on it. And obviously for me, it was a case of learning what it's like to compete with the best again. Obviously for me, on a personal level, it was fantastic. Won a couple of games, but in general, it's head and shoulders above anything else you'll ever experience. So it's fantastic, but in the same sense, you can never prepare yourself for something so almost daunting as a young player, but also the thrill of being there. It's sort of like adrenaline's run and motion themselves, but in general, it's fantastic. I'm really happy.
What's it like when that call comes through? Because it was a late call as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it was a very difficult scenario because I wasn't prepared for it at all. I was having a sort of weekend away with my family and having a good time. But obviously, when that call comes through, as a non-professional player trying to make their mark on the scene, it's a must-go-to. And obviously, for me, it was a must-do. And yeah, I had a great time. It was fantastic. The actual call itself, I was a bit like, oh my god, no way, why now? Almost like sort of, you know, you're hoping it will come through, but you're not hoping it will come through at that moment, if that makes sense. So for me, it was fantastic to just be there and experience it again. But obviously, in the same sense, when that call comes, you can't say no. It's like you have to be there and experience it for yourself to progress as a future player.
So where were you when the call came through then, in relation to Leicester?
Right, so for me, on a personal level, I was in Hertfordshire. My darts were in Hampshire, so I had a very difficult scenario to sort of put myself through. I had to go there with one of my old sets of darts, which put me back on the sort of pedal as such. I was trying to make do with the situation. I won a couple of games, so I'm very happy, but in the same sense, I'm there and I'm sort of like trying to just sort of make the best of a scenario that I didn't expect. And yeah, obviously you can't prepare for that because you never know when that call's going to come. Obviously, it could have came that weekend. It could have came in 6 months' time. It could have never came, and you're hoping it will come. But for me, it's a lesson learned that I need to bring my darts more often when I come away to my mum's house. But
is that the case to always have a set in the car now?
yeah, it's definitely a lesson learned. I think for me, it's, as I say, I'm in that transition of moving, so I'm sort of a bit all over the place at the moment. So in general, it was a massive lesson learned that they need to stay in the car. Even after a practice session, like if you're rushing out the door, you need to make sure you bring them with you. But for me, I was there for a weekend away, and it ended up being the weekend of dreams. So it's it's a dream come true to be back on that Pro Tour. But in the same sense, I want to go back there in a couple of weeks' time, hopefully, and do the same thing, if not better, with my own equipment.
I might be wrong with this, but to start with, the call was only for the Saturday.
Yes.
Wasn't it? So how do you plan for that? And when did you then get the call to say, actually, don't go anywhere? You're in Sunday as well.
So it's an awkward scenario, of course, but for me, it was Saturday morning. I woke up and it was like, oh, you need to be in Leicester by 12. I was like, I can get there, but my equipment can't. And obviously, I'm trying to get used to the scenario as quick as possible. But then, in the same situation, your Saturday afternoon, you finish playing. You're toying with the idea of going back and also staying. And obviously, you need a good management company, which obviously I'm very lucky to have, with Modus, that can sort of point you in the right direction. Because obviously, if you're not expecting the scenario of Sunday, which for me it worked out, it's very difficult to sort of think long term. But for me, it was a case of stay over there and hope that Sunday came about. If not, I was going to travel back Sunday and have a pleasant afternoon anyway. But yeah, for me it was sort of a scenario I weren't expecting. But in the same sense, Sunday afternoon I was like, can't say no, Obviously, it's a scenario that I didn't expect, but in the same sense, it's a scenario that I'm very happy to be part of. So, yeah, and obviously it came through good because I won a couple of games, so very happy. But yeah, all in all, a very difficult but happy reaction to the situation, I guess. So,
Jared, absolute pleasure, mate, catching up with you, and well done on the Pro Tour.
Thank you very much. Cheers.